Hey guys, it's Cesar.
And I'm Carla.
Welcome to another episode of Carla and Cesar's Modern Life.
Episode number 20.
Number 20, yes, and it's our first episode of the summer.
Yes.
How do you feel?
Good. I love the fact that the days are so long now.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget that.
That the like days get longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like with their sun out for longer.
Mm-hmm.
It feels good to be outside or to even be inside and you still feel like it's like... Because then it gets dark and it gets depressing.
I know.
Like really early, like at 5 in the afternoon.
Because our apartment is already dark as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So to be even more dark.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's been nice lately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we were waiting for this because we moved in November, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were just kind of working towards this.
Yeah.
This time of the year. So we are, it's our first summer episode and we are recording this a little bit late because we've had a hell of a week. Did you want to talk about your week first?
My week was pretty much a lot of the same, just a lot of work. But still, I'm still staying strong with keeping up with my journaling and stuff. Mm-hmm. Exercise as well. I got to go to yoga a few times, which was really nice. Super grateful for that trade-off that I have. I don't know. Have I talked about it on the show?
No.
I take care of the plants
at
a yoga studio. I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I just didn't know what you meant by trade-off. But yeah, you take care of their plants and they give you free yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a bad memory.
No, it's okay.
Sorry, guys. Anyway, so yeah, that's been really nice. And I just would like to be meditating more. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking forward to the next few days because I have 3 days off. And so I have a list of things that I want to do. Nice. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad that you're going to enjoy your time off. Yeah, today we're recording this on the Monday, the 27th. So this is supposed to be out already. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it's not out is because of what I did this past week. No, but it's kind of like... So... last week we were supposed to go to dinner for my birthday because my mom wanted to celebrate my birthday, and she was exposed to COVID, and we were supposed to do a dinner last weekend with all family members, so we had to cancel that and just to be safe, but she wasn't feeling any symptoms, and then by the time that Friday, the day that we were supposed to have our she started feeling sick on Thursday, and then Friday we were supposed to have our dinner, so we had to cancel that. This would be, and I was worried because this was going to be her third time going through COVID, and she said a year ago when she had it that she thought she almost died, despite being vaccinated. It just hit her really hard. So I was just happy that she got through it, and it just sucked to have her go through it again.
Yeah, because you were worried about her.
Yeah, I was worried a lot about her. So, on Friday, I just tried to, not think about it. So, and that's, leaked into Saturday too, because, we had a game night with your family, and we started drinking at 4:00 in the afternoon. And I just, was in the mood to not want to think about stuff. So I just kept drinking from 4 to 1 o'clock in the morning, 4 p.m. but yeah, it was like when we got there at 4 o'clock, I started drinking. And then on Sunday, I feel like I had the worst hangover I've ever had in my life. Because even the hangover previous to the one that I thought was the worst hangover in my life, it only lasted like the first couple hours of the day. This one was a full 24-hour recovery. I remember I had my last drink at like 12:30, and I didn't feel good until 12 o'clock at night last night. I couldn't keep anything down, so even water, it would not stay in my system. And it was like, I didn't know what to do. And so
Did
it was
you
like...
think you were going to die?
No, I knew that it was temporary, and I kept telling myself that I was like, "You're gonna get through this." But it was weird.
I've had hangovers where I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, I know.
Really. Yeah,
Yeah, but you've had hangovers where you've like passed out, right? Yeah. No, I was scared, but I never thought that I would ever throw up from drinking. But I mean, as soon as I got home on Saturday night, I just started throwing up.
Yeah.
And then I fell asleep, and it was the same day. The next day, the same thing all day.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to record on Sunday because we were supposed to record on Friday, but I just didn't feel like doing that because I felt like my mind was elsewhere with my mom being sick. And then Saturday we already had those plans. So then Sunday we had set aside that time, but I just couldn't do it. I didn't feel like I could talk for a long period of time either. But so
you just needed to recover.
Yeah. So
a matter of time.
Yeah, it was just taking the time that I needed, and now I see that, like, you know, it was just a whole thing about taking care of my body and not putting myself through that because it's not necessary, and why. Like, I didn't have any more fun because I was more drunk. It was the same amount of fun if I had just stuck to whatever I usually drink, you know.
Yeah.
And I also don't usually start drinking at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's probably why I didn't know how to pace myself either. But the reason it was disappointing to not be able to record this weekend is because we had already, you know, had basically everything ready to go. We had worked on this, moving on now to the self-help book that we both started working on.
Self-help?
Yeah. So this book was something that you had already read before, right?
No, I had listened to the audiobook already.
Well, it's the same thing, yeah, right?
Yeah. But I didn't complete, like, there's exercises at the end of each chapter, and I didn't do them because I knew that we were going to come around to it together. So yeah. Yeah,
so the name of the book is The Dark Side of the Light Chasers by Debbie Ford. Do you want to kind of explain what the shadow is?
Yeah, so she basically breaks it down as it being the part of ourselves that we try to, like, suppress or, like, hide from other people by, like, I don't know, like, lying or I mean, there's a million different ways people can go about doing this, but basically it's like suppressing the parts side that you don't want to accept about yourself. Yeah, because
we just started. In the first couple chapters, she talks about how, like, even when you're born and you're a kid and you start growing up, you realize, like, you're taught that you're supposed to hide certain parts of yourself,
right?
And that really resonated with me.
For others,
yeah.
So you emphasize those.
That resonated with me too, because you would think like, oh, like, yeah, like, everybody has, like, these tendencies or thoughts that maybe are not something that we should share, and you try to keep those to yourself,
right?
And it's not necessarily bad things that you do. It's just that some things that might be embarrassing to admit to yourself, or, like, certain things you don't like, you have to like because, you know, the pressure of, like, family, or the pressure of, like, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing, like, that's kind of what it is,
right?
And so this is just about, like, accepting every part of yourself, right?
And yeah, basically she says, like, it can be healed by embracing, your shadow can be healed by embracing it, like, every side. And when it is healed, it becomes love. She says our shadow needs acceptance, love, and cultivation. So to me, what that means is, like, just being kind to myself, continuing to, you know, do the things that light me up and recharge me, like doing yoga, running outside, taking time for myself, meditating, journaling, all those things. I feel really lucky that I'm able to, like, do those consistently, because, like, they do take time, and that's basically, like, if I'm not at work or I'm not hanging out with you, like, that's what I'm doing, like, nonstop all the time. But it's really worth it because I'm just learning so much about myself, and like, just taking the time to be with myself, because I feel like I have never taken the time to do this for myself to this extent. And it's been great.
That's good.
So
yeah, it's good that you're setting out, you know, the things that you're looking to do that'll give you that satisfaction of, like, I did things for myself, that you know exactly what it is.
Yeah. And I appreciate that you want to listen to the book with me.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. So one of the things that was part of that was when after every chapter, or some chapters, they have, like, exercises that are, like, guided meditations and stuff you have to answer, and we did one of those, right?
Right.
So how was that for you?
It was really cool. I liked it a lot. I actually felt like I was actually, like, meditating. Sometimes when I meditate, I'm like, I wasn't actually meditating because all I did was think, you know, or I fall asleep. But it was really insightful. Like, the questions that she asked were good questions to, like, really, like, help you be honest with yourself, I think. So
yeah, it's and it's, I
liked it.
Yeah, so it was like you sat for a minute, and then you did meditate, but then you had something handy to write with. In between each question, you would write down, like, your answer to it, and sometimes it was easier to answer it than other times. Like some of the, like, I mean, which one would you be comfortable discussing? I don't know, out of all these that we have here. One of them, like, I'll give you an example, and we don't have to answer this one ourselves, is what am I most afraid of? that's a simple one. Then you get deeper with what's the biggest lie I've ever told myself, and what's the biggest lie I've ever told someone else. And so stuff like that you don't really like sit there and think about all the time, because I can think about like my biggest fear, because that's a common thing people discuss. But that's how you get started. Then you get deeper and deeper into yourself, and you're like, oh shit, like I didn't really find anything that I was like, oh man, like I was suppressing something. I felt good about that, because I was like, well, I feel like the older I get, the more honest with myself and with everybody I am. So it's a lot easier to like, I mean, it's easier to do this work, because I know I'm not hiding something big or anything.
Right.
You know? What about you?
For me, it really resonates, and I feel like I am gonna like. I feel like things will be revealed to me like as I go, because I do tend to people please, and so I realize that I shift like the way I talk, or the way I like, or the amount that I'm willing to open up around certain people or not, or like even just being able to feel like I can be myself. Like I overthink it, because I think part of it is that being a flight attendant, I just didn't get attached to anybody, because you only flew with them for a few days and then you never see them again, basically. And so I think that coming from before that, my job, I was there for like almost 13 years. And so it was easier to build relationships then with like coworkers, like
because you have that community of people there.
Yeah. And also like I was younger myself, and like I don't know, it was, so I went from that, where I worked with the same people all the time, to never working with the same people. And then now I think it's maybe, I have a feeling that like it's part of it is that like but I have like no reason to have a wall up, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know how to like bring it down besides like being myself. And so I feel like this resonates with me, because I am excited to see like who I am, because this is how I've been all my life, you know? Yeah. And so it's like, obviously like you and I feel like I'm most myself when I'm with you, and like my friend, like my family, my friends, but like on different levels, for the same reason that you just don't share everything with everybody. And so I want to be my most authentic, and I feel like I will hopefully get a lot out of this. When we're done with this book, we'll listen to The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Oh shit.
I think that's how you say it.
We'll definitely check out the Eckhart Tolle book, because I remember that he was also in Kendrick's album. And a lot of the stuff, he didn't have much to say, because obviously he was just like in parts of it, there was actual songs in it. Right. But a lot of the stuff that he said was interesting about just, you know, growing up and finding your identity, and if you're basing your identity on traumatic events, like how that can happen, like how it can change you as a person and stuff like that. So he's definitely somebody I'm interested in. And that also reminds me that now that we're talking about Kendrick, is his performance, in which he did it was one of his first shows from this new tour, the big Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and at Glastonbury, which is basically like their Coachella in England, or just a festival as big as Coachella. I wouldn't say it's the exact same thing, but it's the same idea. He finished his set with a tribute to, well, not a tribute, but like a mention of like how women's rights, like how they're being taken away. And that was something else we wanted to talk about real quick, because of the fact that on Friday, just another reason why Friday was not a great day was just that what the Supreme Court did, which is overturn Roe versus Wade. And that's horrible. That's
undid a bunch of progress, and like for what?
And it's I think
to keep suppressing women, basically. And so it's like, if you're trying to break a cycle, and maybe you don't want kids, and it's like you're forced to, like, that's so fucked up to like have to be forced into that. I can't imagine, like, I mean I can, because like literally if I couldn't get an abortion, I would still, you know, like have a kid, which like is great, but like if you're not ready to like be a mother, or like be with a person who's like, you know, like, I mean, there's so many reasons why you would want an abortion, you know? So it's like, for me personally, like, I didn't know I was ready to share this, but I guess I am. I mean, why not?
It's your story. That's why.
Yeah. So, just for me personally, like if I hadn't been able to get an abortion when I did, like I didn't start doing my personal like self-help work until after I broke up with the person who I was with at the time. Like, do you think I was gonna like, maybe I would have found the time, but like if I had a kid to take care of, I was most likely gonna be a single mom.
Yeah.
If I had gone through with the pregnancy.
Yeah.
And it's just like I wouldn't be able to like have all this time to just like work on myself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you end cycles. And like so many people, like if you take that time away from them, like the resources like that could be focused on them, like redirected to them, like as opposed to like
trying to take care of a child
that
they're not ready for.
Yeah, it's like the fact that that's so many girls, women's reality now, like just breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's tough because it's not even like the choice. It's 100% personal, and it's all about what you need to do in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's way fucked up for just somebody that has nothing to do with it to be like, no, you can't now.
Yeah.
For no reason other than just because I hate your people, basically. Like, I want you to fail. So here, I'm going to take away this opportunity for you to fix your life. Even if it wasn't something that you put your, like, people want to say, like, oh, well, you know, you should have practiced safe sex. And it's like, people don't even, some people got raped, you know?
Yeah,
like
that. And, like, who's teaching them? Because
exactly.
You're not teaching it in school.
Exactly. You don't want people to talk about sex of any kind in school. and you want people to learn about safe sex. Like,
and then once the kid's born, like everybody keeps saying, like, you don't give a fuck about them or the mother.
Yeah, there's no
or
resources to help. They're like they think welfare and all this shit. They want to take it down. So it's like they're really just dooming people to.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your story, and I don't mean to cut you off or anything. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, that was basically it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just frustrating. Like, what can we do besides like protest? And we can only be so angry before it starts to hurt us.
Yeah.
Us personally, you know, like, so instead I'll choose to focus my attention on just being kind to myself and taking care of myself, eating better, continuing to work out and work on myself.
Yeah.
And love everybody, basically.
That's basically it. Just be there for people that need help, and do what you can to change your community. Like, and it doesn't have to mean like change the entire world. Just whatever you can do that will make a difference, or even in a small way. Like that's all like we can ask of people, because it's a lot to put on one person and be like, hey, like all this is happening and you can do it. It's like, no, it's like just try to take care of yourself. And it's easy to get riled up. I mean, that just happened to me right now, but it's just take care of yourself first, because like your point, you can't help the world if you can't help yourself first.
Yeah. Are you ready to get into the scenarios?
Yes, I am.
Nice. Okay, so I'll go first.
Okay.
I, a 35-year-old female, got engaged to my fiance Eric, a 37-year-old male, 2 months ago. He moved in with me and my daughter Zoe, who's 13. Everything was going well till he started complaining about Zoe's cat, which is strange because the cat is so sweet and quiet most of the time, and so I had no idea what the issue was exactly. Anyway, he went from complaining about the cat to making demands about her. He gave Zoe a list of places the cat can and can't go, things she's allowed to touch, banned her from places like the kitchen and the sofa, which is Zoe's favorite place to cuddle with her cat. Zoe showed me this list, and I had an argument with him, telling him he needed to stop this because it was ridiculous. He ranted about this being his house too, and how he expects things to change after we get married.
A few days ago, I was at work and got a call from Zoe crying, saying that her cat wasn't in her room and in the house. I freaked out too and went home to look for her. Zoe and I looked for 2 hours before a neighbor of ours brought her and told us that he saw Eric leaving her outside and getting in his car and leaving. I was surprised and quite angry. Zoe took her cat and went back inside. I immediately drove to my future in-laws home where Eric said he'd be. The second I saw him sitting with his family, I went off and blew up on him in front of everyone. His mom asked what was happening, and I told her that her son left my daughter's indoor cat outside the house, probably hoping for her to get lost. He argued about wanting me to stop spouting nonsense and go home, and we talked there, but I refused. It got worse and ended up leaving after the family flipped out on him. He sent a bunch of texts talking about the stunt I pulled in front of his family. He said he didn't mean to leave the cat out, but after checking the cams, I confirmed it. He insisted that I humiliated him in front of his family and tried to turn them against him. He's been staying with a friend and has stopped calling and texting. So am I the asshole for blowing up in front of him, in front of his family? So the question here isn't, am I a jerk for getting mad at him? Am I a jerk for getting mad at him in front of his family?
Right.
What do you think?
No.
No, right?
Because they're her family too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, I mean, if
you're allowed to be how you want to be with your family.
Yeah.
I feel. I mean, within boundaries, obviously, but like, if that was how you felt in the moment. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
And it's also like, yeah, like, why hide this? This is a conversation that it's weird because it's not even his house. Like, and
I mean, she didn't try to turn his family against him.
No,
that was not her intention.
It just happened that they were arguing. That happened to be there because but that's what I'm saying is she had every right to show up and be angry because it's like, what the hell? Why'd you do that? Like, it matters a lot to the family to have the cat. So why would he like purposely leave out the cat on purpose? And that's what the neighbor was saying, and that's what the cameras confirmed, is that he was okay with leaving the cat outside. And so her going to the house where he was, because that's probably the only, I mean, yeah, he just moved in with her, so the only other place that he could be was at his in-laws place. So
yeah, well, I hope that she doesn't end up marrying him, because what a dick. Just can't expect the whole everything in the house to change for you. Like, yeah, no, it doesn't work like that.
So yeah, not a jerk. I think you did what you had to do because he was being a dick about, putting the cat in danger too. I mean, literally.
I hope that she posts an update and hopefully she left. Eric. Fuck you, Eric. Poor cat.
All right, should I do the next one?
Yes.
Hi, a 28-year-old female had a stillbirth 5 weeks ago. My sister gave birth to a healthy baby 4 weeks ago. After my stillbirth, I was producing milk and pumping, and my sister couldn't breastfeed after her son was born. Formula shortage was awful, and I was literally throwing my milk away, so I offered it to my sister, and she gladly accepted it. I was advised by the doctors to pump for 3 weeks after the stillbirth to prevent problems for me, and then stop. Otherwise, I just keep producing milk. Due to the formula shortage, I have been pumping for 5 weeks now to give milk to my sister. Now that there's more formula in stock, she has been able to buy it. I told her I'd stop pumping. She told me that her son has stomach issues after the formula and asked me to keep pumping. I told her I emotionally cannot handle it any longer. She said I'm being selfish. She already has to feed her son by the bottle. Because at first, she suggested I just nurse him daily, at least, just once a day. We lived next door and I refused. I told her I'm sorry, I can't pump. I can pump for a few more days so she can put in the freezer and have backup until she finds better formula for her son. But she said breast milk is the healthiest and I should just help her out. She called me a selfish asshole and said I am the embodiment of misery loves company. Damn. My mother feels I should help my sister out. My husband says my sister is way out of line. I feel awful because I could help her and all. I know she needs it.
Damn, that's so fucked up.
Yeah. Well, first of all, what do you have to say?
That's so unfair, like, for the sister to demand that of her. That's, first of all, she just had to have a miscarriage, basically.
Yeah.
Like, can she at least process that? Like, because, damn, like, you can't, like, that's a lot to ask of somebody. It was really nice that she was willing to like help her out with it at first. Like, I would have done it for the 3 weeks and then been like, all right, like, I mean, no, in reality, I probably would have done it like her, like for 5 weeks or whatever.
A little extra.
Just a little extra, yeah. But like it's gonna, it said something about how it would affect her body, right?
Yeah, it'll give her problems, they said.
Yeah, so.
And if she kept really pumping, she wouldn't be able to stop.
Sister to ask her to do that.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that the reason why her sister thought it was like reasonable and why her mom is also thinking that's reasonable is because it's a very serious thing that there's no baby formula. But you also can't like, and that sucks, and that's real, like, you know, because babies need to get fed. But you can't expect somebody that going through that, like, that's selfish of you to think that your sister who just went through something very traumatic is just gonna like keep doing this for you. She has to protect her body, like she just had a stillborn too, like that also affects you, like yeah, no. And
so she needs to recover physically and emotionally, so she needs to prioritize herself.
Yeah.
So no, you are not the asshole.
Yeah, and your husband was right. He was saying that he was the only one telling you your sister was out of line, and that's true. That's somebody that cares about you too, telling you like, hey, you need to put this boundary up because they're not going to respect it. Yeah, not the asshole.
Damn.
All right, you want to read this one?
It always blows my mind, like, how do like these two people come from the same parenting,
like opposites. They're so opposites.
And like, how are the parents so like set on like taking a side?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's always like, oh, my mom is telling me that I need to apologize, and it's like, what is it with all these, like, maybe it's because the people are older and they believe in like just letting it go, like be the bigger person, and I think that's a common thing where they're like, oh, you just gotta stop, like, but it's like, hey, like, how about I hold my own because this person's being unreasonable, not me, you know?
That's so true.
Yeah.
So it's a mindset of a certain generation.
I think so, and that's why it's so common for parents to just want to be like, oh yeah, they think we should make up, but it's like, it's not that easy. It's not like you could put the blame on a sibling or whatever, but that's not like, you have, if they did something truly messed up to you, then it doesn't matter what your parents say at this point. She's 28, like, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so for the next one, I just got married last week. My wife and I are both in our 30s. I am Mexican, she is American, but we both grew up in the US and both our families know both languages. My wife planned every bit of the wedding and was a very controlling and nervous bride. But all right, I get that she was stressed. During the reception, I went to the band and asked them to play a song for me to sing to my new wife. It was Te Amé by Miguel Bosé. It was the song from our first date in a really bad Mexican restaurant, so it became a long-standing joke between us. The guests really loved the song. My mother-in-law cried and told me it was beautiful, but my bride seemed upset. I asked her what's wrong, and she said, I am an asshole for taking the spotlight to enforce my ethnicity and not just let the band sing our song for us. Am I the asshole?
What? Enforce ethnicity.
What the fuck?
That is a weird thing to say out loud.
Very weird.
How do you find out during the wedding that your wife is racist?
But it happens. I think it happens.
No, I'm surprised, but it's also like I have heard of cases like people that I know of, you know, that they got married and they didn't talk about it till later, and it's like,
what a nightmare.
And it's true though, and let's talk. This is obviously she obviously was a bridezilla that didn't want the attention taken away from. I don't even know, because I guess she
would have been okay with it if the band had sang it to them, but she didn't like that he sang
took the spotlight. So was she just trying to be like, it's my day?
Or maybe she thought he had no right because she had already planned it exactly how she wanted it to go down. So it's like, why couldn't he do something for you? Because that's why he did it. He did it for her. I mean, unless she maybe like saw something that maybe like triggered her to think like he did it for the attention. But
either way, that's still racist to say you did it to enforce your ethnicity. Because that's not at all, like, she could have said.
And if she really thought that, like, would she have married? Like, why did she marry him then? If that's what she thought that was his agenda.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like, it seemed like the way he described it, both families knew both languages, so everybody seemed like
the mother-in-law cried.
Yeah, so it didn't seem like there was like a problem with like her parents being racist, and then it passed it down to her. This girl just was this person was like, they were just either really selfish and wanted everything to go exactly how they planned, but still that sentence just what the hell is that sentence? Enforce your ethnicity.
I know, that's so weird. What a weird thing to say. Yeah, I knew of somebody who got married in a different country, or I don't know if they were already married, but anyway, they met and in the country of origin, her country of origin, and South Korea, I think. And then they moved here. He was there, I think, for work. And then so they met there. They fell in love, got engaged, and then came here. She met her family, and it turned out that they were super racist.
Damn.
And then would be racist to her, like say racist shit to her.
So she met his family. She met the guy's family,
What
and
did
they met her family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she met the guy's family.
Right. And they turned out to be super racist and like microaggressions left and right all the time. Like this was like what she just had to like tolerate basically.
Yeah.
And
then you even told me that he would do like a racist impression of her too.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, so they're not together anymore.
Oh, okay.
But thank God. But like, yeah, he was like even trying to hold it over her, like her ability to be like stay in the country.
Damn. Yeah,
So,
and I think.
I mean, I don't think that's the case here, but like that's so wild that she had to find out after the fact.
So definitely this guy. I think that. I don't know how you
get an annulment.
Can you guys say? Can you get an annulment? Because it's like, hey, everything was good up to this point, but at the same time, I don't know, because you said she was controlling and nervous, so it just shows you like who the person really is, right? So it's up to you. What you do from here is whether you can get past this whole weird sentence of enforcing your ethnicity. Yeah. Because what kind of values does that person have if they jumped right to, hey, you just wanted to show everybody you're Mexican? What the fuck? Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So that was it, guys. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching this. Remember, you can follow us online. You can follow me at I am Cesar Rod. Where can they follow you?
On Instagram, Carlella Rod 89 or Plant Parenthood OC.
Yeah, and you can follow at The Rodriguez Show, which is my radio show that airs every Friday. And like and subscribe to this channel. So, I know we're a little late, but you can still like and enjoy this video. And we also just released 2 other reactions. We did a reaction to the Beyonce song, the new one, Break My Soul. And we did a whole album reaction to Drake's Honestly Nevermind, which is really fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fun. So that's it. Remember to take care of yourself and each other.
Thanks for watching. Bye.